What's up, Mixed Reaction? It is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. I'm here with Casey Merritt and Justin Duncan. I wish, what did they say in that movie? I wish I could say it is a good day. It is most certainly not one. Or in that press conference or whatever. Because uh, 5-1. 5-1. Wow.
5-1.
I thought you
It
guys
felt
were
like
fucking with me.
no.
It's like
It felt like the Iceland game, the first Iceland game in D2, the Mighty Ducks. It felt that bad.
I
No.
turned it on when it was 3-1, I think, and they just started. I was like, they scored again.
Yeah. So I told you guys you're not gonna like my take, and I'm just gonna throw it out there right now.
Just do it. Let's rip the Band-Aid. Get it over with.
This may come across as a hot take, okay? And this doesn't mean I have doubts about their future. It doesn't mean I have doubts about Ben Barr. This is strictly about this season as a whole.
Okay.
I do not consider this season a successful season. The reason being, the expectations that this team built up during the course of the regular season and during, of course, the Hockey East playoffs, where they were eventually crowned as Hockey East champions, to go out in that style and have the same exact outcome as last year, just a one and done. I mean, the game itself, but the loss is the loss, right? And so, for me, I don't see that as an upgraded season overall. Yes, they won the Hockey East championship, and I'm happy about that. I understand that, and it's a great feat. But as I said, from the Northeastern game through the UConn game, it's not the tournament that matters. And so it's almost like we're using the same logic 2 years in a row during the course of these NCAA tournament runs. And apparently the logic is they ran into the worst possible matchup they could have. And technically, from a technical standpoint, it's accurate for both seasons. But at some point, there does come a time frame where these tournament appearances are not enough. Now, yes, they've made a great turnaround at Maine. There's no doubting about that. From the team that they were 5 years ago to the team that they are now is completely night and day. But with that needs to come more continued success. And I was hoping that this would be the year that it took place, especially, like I said, with the expectations that this team set through the course of the regular season. And unfortunately, they just fell flat. I mean, the talent level, when they have one player who's drafted, the talent discrepancy was blatant and obvious versus Penn State. Their speed was inedible. We could not keep up with them. And it was very, very much so on display that we still have a lack of talent right now at the University of Maine.
I got a question about your take, and it's kind of like shoulda, coulda, woulda, obviously, and there's a lot of that going on, and it's understandably so. But would your position be different had we won the first game but lost the second one? Had we lost in the regional final?
Yes, my position would be different because
we improved upon last season as opposed to the end result. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I wasn't sure if that's what if the end result, if you didn't improve upon it, it's a failed season. Your thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so that's exactly it.
Okay.
And so here's why I'm not hating on the future for Maine, right? And Justin, I'm going to ask you this: what do Ross Mitten, Taylor McCarr, Charlie Russell, and others have in common?
Transfers. All transfers.
Transfers who played a game as an opposing team at the University of Maine and said, God damn, that's where I want to go and play. Mm-hmm. So I think that's only going to continue to grow from here. That's why I said I'm not talking about the future of this team. I think it's bright. I'm not talking about how Ben Barr needs to be evaluated. None of that is remotely the case. It's strictly from a this season standpoint. And I know I'm on the minority side of this. I know that. But I personally don't consider it a success. And I will say this. If this were to happen next year, I might give it one more pass after that. But if this happens for a continuous more seasons, I'm going to give Maine the same treatment that I gave the Celtics last year, where the regular season will not matter anymore, and you have to prove you can get it done.
Okay. I can respect that. What I would say is, and again, we talked about it at the end of last season, and we're talking about it now, obviously. Maine's issue against Cornell last year was they ran into a much more physical team that they couldn't hang with from a physicality standpoint. This year's buzzsaw was speed. So because they were wrecking up Penn State's players left and right, and the referees were obviously in their pocket. Bias, I know, but they were in their pocket. But it's they didn't have the speed factor that they needed to go up against a team like Penn State. And Penn State beat the same brakes off of UConn from a speed perspective. UConn just was able to hold on to them because of they have great scoring and scoring abilities. But
yeah,
even then it didn't end up being enough because Penn State's now in the Frozen Four.
They are. And, all the credit to Penn State. This wasn't a game where, this wasn't a game where Maine lost more so than Penn State won. This was 100% Penn State dominating from start to finish. Even Maine was a lucky bounce. Like, it was a shot that cleared up over the goalie's shoulder that got tipped high into the air and just went over his shoulder. Like, it wasn't
a high sticking call, too, for that matter, too.
Yeah, so even that, like, if you take that away, which you could make the argument and the case that you potentially could, it's really a 5-0 game. Maine just was not out there.
Did they score first?
Yes, Maine they did.
Yeah, I thought you guys were fucking with me. Michigan State, that's another story. I was saying they were playing Friday. I was watching that basketball. But it's a very gloomy time. But what do you guys like for the Frozen Four this weekend? Because wow, I'm a bit surprised at the four we got. Especially Penn State actually made it through after they beat Maine.
We got Penn State against Boston University, and then we have Denver against Western Michigan, which is interesting. Western Michigan Denver game is the rematch of their conference final.
Yeah, I'm going Denver BU.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the tried and true Denver BU match as well. But seeing what I saw from Penn State, nothing saying they can't. But going back to BU's regional final game, where who were they? Were they against? They were against Cornell, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
They were neck and neck with Cornell, and then BU just turned on to get the NOS and just laid into 8-3.
Yeah.
But I like I said, I'll still take the tried and true programs, BU and Denver, and even then, that'd be a crapshoot of a game. I'd probably take Denver just based on their goaltender, but it's weird because my kids keep saying, "Is there a hockey game tonight? Is there a hockey game tonight?" And it's like, not for us. Not for us.
Damn.
Yeah. It feels bad to say it, but it's true.
I actually have Western Michigan, Penn State in the final. I have Western.
Not a bad pick either. Not a bad pick either. I mean, Western Michigan.
They're still a 1 seed.
They've been if Western Michigan wins, they will have earned that by every stretch of the imagination because no one's been talking about Western Michigan until they're the sneaky number one, whereas they weren't the talked about franchises like BU, BC, Denver, etc.
Exactly. And we have to keep in mind, of course, I understand the Western Michigan and Penn State pick. We got to keep in mind, guys, that this is a Frozen Four for a reason. Nothing is an upset during the Frozen Four. It's a very even matchup on both games. So, Ian, your pick's not outrageous by any means.
Agreed. I trust the experience of the other two teams over Western Michigan and Penn State.
Especially with Denver, when you take into consideration Denver, how their season has kind of gone, because obviously they started off hot and heavy, right? They started off. absolutely slaughtering teams, and then they kind of had a 2-month lull period where they were winning games, losing games, winning games, losing games. And then, of course, when it comes to their conference tournament and their tournament time, they show their championship caliber, and they show why they are who they are. And I wouldn't be the slightest bit shocked if we see Denver holding up that national title again.
They're the defending champions for a reason.
Absolutely agree. It's like they say in Coach Carter, we're the champions, so we ain't the champions no more.
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of champions to be,
I forgot about Duke.
It's going to be Duke. It's
Duke. It's no question. It's Duke. They are so far and away better than everybody.
When is the last time that there's been all 4 ones in the Final Four?
2008 was the only time Memphis lost to Kansas in 2008. It was UCLA. They had Kevin Love, Westbrook, Darren Collison. Memphis had like Derrick Rose. Kansas had Mario Chalmers, and North Carolina with like Tyler Hansbrough.
But it's been like 17 years since all 4 number 1 teams from each regional were in the Final Four.
The women's, that shit happens like every other year.
True.
Yeah. In 08, though, that Kansas team went on to win the title, man, with Mario Chalmers. They were a juggernaut that year.
Hey, but, I mean, I want to get into some basketball, but I want to give a shout-out for the Coach Carter reference. I forgot. We're the champions till we ain't the champions no more. When they sit there just joking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duke, bro. I don't think it's going to be Houston's going to give him a tough matchup. They have Malone watch. He's 6'7", Knipple's going to be top 10 pick. How do you stop that?
Again, I still have Duke winning by at least double digits.
I do too. I have Duke by 10.
I've got Duke by 8.
I mean, no team really. I mean, granted, any given night, some team can get hot. But there's no team that I honestly expect who's going to be able to put up an actual legitimate fight against Duke the way they're playing.
No, I mean it would take, in my opinion, more of an off night from Duke than a team beating Duke at their A game.
Nobody can beat Duke at their A game. It's not possible.
It's going to have to take like a New York Giants against the Patriots in the 2008 Super Bowl kind of thing. Like everything has to go right.
Look how well Alabama was playing, and they lost by like 20. Like Duke's no fucking joke.
And for people who think Duke is just Cooper Flagg, aren't really watching. Like they have 3 top 12 picks. I think Cooper Flagg only had 17 points in his last game, and they still were just dominant in all facets. This team is unbelievable.
Is it the Miami Hurricanes in the NCAA basketball perspective?
No.
I mean, time will tell.
That team was unreal.
Yeah. Andre Johnson, Willis McGahee, Clinton Portis, fucking
Lewis.
It's Will Fark. I mean, and how did that team lose the national title? How?
Yeah, that's no wait. Or no, Ray Lewis wasn't on that team, but the team that lost the national title they like Greg Olson, Arian Foster, Andre Johnson, like it's still insane. Patrick Willis, Sean Taylor, like
they were just a different breed, though.
Dude, no, but when we were talking about Duke though, like the 3 top 12 picks, Malone watch, people forget he's 7'2". And he's a better rim protector than anybody in this tournament. Florida Auburn, I'm looking forward to. We're not gonna know if Johni Broome is really 100%. I'm a big fan of Walter Clayton Jr. But I like Auburn.
I wish Sean was here for this one because I kind of want to get his insight on that Auburn-Michigan State game. It was close for a little bit, and Auburn was just too much for them.
I never really felt like Michigan State was gonna win that game.
I had a feeling Michigan State could have pulled off the upset, but again, Auburn just pulled away.
So I was reading a post in a college basketball forum that I really wanted to get.
Oh, sorry, don't mean to interrupt, but holy crap, Rafael Devers actually got a hit. He hit a RBI double. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Has he reached his 20th strikeout yet?
No. He started over 2 without any strikeouts, but still. He actually got a hit.
Have his 20th strikeout?
Yeah, he has 15 strikeouts through 5 games so far.
The Angels went into the top of the 7th, tied or bottom of the 7th, tied 5-5. We lost 12-5.
Oh God, it's the Angels.
But yeah, man, Cooper Flagg, bro, like I mean that whole. The only thing that worries me, John Shire's a good coach, is that Kelvin Sampson, they might have him in the coaching department. Literally every other area. Duke reigns supreme.
Real quick, here's what I was saying something before that happened. So I was reading something in the college basketball forum about Tom Izzo, and I really wanted to get Sean's take on this because what it was saying is, as great as Tom Izzo has been for Michigan State, it's time for them to go in a different direction because Tom Izzo doesn't like to look at one and done 5-star recruits.
Transfer portal.
Or the transfer portal. And so that's kind of what's been Michigan State's Achilles heel over the past few years, where they've had decent teams and can win a game or two within the tournament. However, when it comes up against the top matchups, they're not talented enough to win.
I always get that feeling with Michigan State watching them, just because they've had good players. Don't get me wrong; like they've had Miles Bridges, they've had, I mean, back in the day, Jason Richardson. Recently, they've had some other guys. I mean,
they've had great players come through there for sure.
Right, Denzel Valentine.
But when have they had an Anthony Davis? When have they had a Zion Williamson? When have they had a John Wall, a Jason Tatum, a Kyrie Irving?
Not since Magic Johnson.
Like, and that's the point that they were making. It's just Tom doesn't typically go for those kind of recruits.
You have to be able to adapt.
And you have to, if you want to win championships, you're right. You're 100% right. You have to be able to adapt.
Yeah, it's crazy because Tom Izzo, coaching wise, X's and O's. Yeah, I'd put his non-talented team up against some of these more talented teams. But when you have a talented team that's well coached and they're disciplined, you're just not going to be good enough. And I see Michigan State fall into that. We talk about 2019 when they play against Texas Tech in the Final Four. That Texas Tech team had Jarrett Culver. I believe Cassius Winston was on that team, but they got to a point where it just didn't feel like they had enough in their arsenal. And Michigan State, they're too good of a program. I don't think I could use this term to describe them overall, but they always seem like overachievers because when you look at their tournament success, they've gone a lot further than their talent indicates they should have. I mean, you look at what Kentucky's done in John Calipari's era. Yeah, they won a national championship, but Michigan State, as far as tournament success, has had just about the same. And you talk about John Wall. Like, I mean, you could go on and on about the guys that played for Kentucky. Like, we could be here for another 30 minutes. But I kind of with that's. I don't know about he needs to go, but he needs to get with it because you can only be a great, you're gonna have to adapt. I mean, we see Dabo Swinney kind of coming around in college football, so we'll see.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and it's one of those things where it depends. I don't think Tom Izzo is ever really at the point in Michigan State where he's going to be let go just because of everything.
No, Tom Izzo, they let him go on his own terms.
You have to go 2-30 for 3 straight seasons,
or have like a Bill Belichick consist like 3 or 4 straight losing seasons kind of thing. Exactly. That'd be the sort of kind of downturn that would preemptive that.
I'd almost argue that he's more valuable to Michigan State than Belichick is to New England.
I would say the same thing because it's already been kind of been proven that the reason why they were as dominant as they were was because the guy behind the center.
Number 12.
Yep.
But because you look at guys like John Calipari gets so heavily criticized, but the dude gets talented players. And watching Arkansas play against, watching them play against St. John's, watching them play against Kansas, watching them play against Texas. Well, I fell asleep during that game. But you don't never watch any of those games and think, oh, damn. It's demoralizing when you're doing everything you can and you just don't have the talent. And with those John Calipari teams, with the Coach K teams, you don't ever get the sense that you can't be you have the talent, and Michigan State doesn't have that.
Here's the big difference I feel when it comes to Calipari and when Tom Izzo, right? Tom Izzo, since he's not really going after the one and dones or really messing with the transfer portal all that much, his ultimate goal is to win a national championship with the team that he has constructed. John Calipari, while obviously wants to win the national title, he stated time and time again, his goal for these players is to get them ready for the NBA. Like, he wants to turn these young men into professional basketball players to set them up for a lifetime. That's obviously, he says he wants to win the national title. Don't get me wrong. But his ultimate goal is to get his recruits to be able to get to the next level. And if they win the title within that time frame, obviously that's great. With Tom Izzo, I feel like he's constructing a team to win a national title. Not that Calipari isn't, but you guys understand the point I'm trying to make, right? They're doing it on two different wavelengths.
You think Izzo has more like the success over time as opposed to the success now?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the thing with Tom Izzo is he's not. I liked him as a coach. He was successful, but he's not Bob Knight. He's not somebody that's going to force himself out. He's not going to go and he's. No. I mean, Sean. What's up, Sean? Hope everything's going good in the Colorado, man, the Rocky Mountains. But he, from all I understand, he's a decent guy. And it's like I said, it's not going to be like I said. Bob Knight is different. Like, he choked a kid on video, and he went under his other his little probationary period, and then he said something to a kid and got fired. And then you have Calipari. He's had to vacate a Final Four at Memphis, and he's had to vacate a Final Four at when he was at UMass. You don't get that with Tom Izzo, so I don't think they're gonna do. He would have to turn into a stubborn old man for them to force him out. Or he'd have to do very, very bad. They're not gonna. He will be able to part graciously from them unless, God forbid, there's some kind of something
scandal or something like that.
Scandal.
Like Joe Paterno type scandal kind of thing, right?
Dude, Joe Paterno coached for a long time, but rightfully fucking so. If he was letting that shit go, they take that shit down.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously, I don't think Tom Izzo was involved with anything like that at Michigan State by any means, but
it would take something like that for them to get fired.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, man, it's just it's gonna be a fun Final Four. And you know what? I think we may have talked about it last week. I've talked about it with a few different people. I like the Cinderella stories. They're fun. It's fun seeing George Mason and Loyola Chicago, his sister Jean. But when you get the best four teams to where they all got bullets in their chamber, it's gonna be a fun one, and it's gonna be in San Antonio. I don't know what the fuck difference that makes, but it just seems like it's gonna be a fun environment.
Super Flagg will be auditioning for his new team in the NBA.
If he goes to San Antonio, that is such a deadly combo with Wemby and him.
Isn't Chris Paul about to retire after this year? They just announced it.
I don't think he announced he's retiring yet. I don't think so.
Did I read that yesterday?
Probably.
Son of a gun. Yeah, man, it's supposed to be hitting I'm not used to this severe weather. The warning on the TV was like, if people and dogs are outside, they will be injured. I was like, what the fuck you mean will be? I've never heard some shit like that. Gentlemen sounded very serious too, but I can't wait for the Final Four, bro. I've been waiting for it, and the Frozen Four is going to be Thursday the 10th and Saturday the 12th in St. Louis. Frozen Four. I don't know if I said that correctly the first time.
It's a bittersweet end of the hockey season for Maine. I mean, I like Casey. I had higher hopes for how Maine would have finished off, but
how many people? Because okay, you guys played in Allentown. How many people do you think were genuinely surprised? Like, oh fuck, we got to actually turn around and go home. Like, I think most people were thinking it might be a struggle, but we'll win. It's the NCAA tournament. Anything can happen in any sport when it's one game. But how many people do you think were just like, oh my god, like we weren't prepared for this shit? Like,
I can tell you right now, the team wasn't ready to go home. The team was not ready to go home.
No.
What do you mean?
They didn't overlook Penn State, but they, like you said, they thought it was going to be a slugfest, and they would eventually overcome.
Oh, right. That's what people in the group were saying too. It wasn't like, as somebody in the group was like, nah, they looked fine. It didn't seem like there was anything cousin. It's just like
they were hitting hard. They were finishing their checks. The refs were calling everything under the sun against them. It felt like they were in Penn State's pocket. It was a home game for Penn State. Let's just be honest. It was absolutely a home game for them, which honestly, I think you need to reevaluate the regional assignments because you can't have a home game for anyone.
Not for the dead lowest seed.
it doesn't matter what seed you are. You can't have a team assigned to a regional that's going to make it a home game.
Well, but the thing is, the top seed, if they do the same thing, the top seed always gets geographic. But that's not what you're talking about.
But that's where it has to end.
You don't think that's your thing either? Oh, you're saying that's where it has to end. Sorry, my bad. I get you.
I hear you guys on that, right? I don't think the regional should be able to be played at a team's home arena or in their home state. I 100% agree with you on that.
I'm not even saying that, but you can't assign a team that can effectively have a home game at any regional unless you're the number one seed where you get the preferential choice.
Right. No, I hear you. My point on this particular game, right? My point on this particular game. I said it in the group. That game could have been played on the fucking moon in Penn State.
Maine would have still gotten slaughtered. Maine State would have gotten slaughtered. Maine would have still gotten slaughtered. Absolutely.
No question.
It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't matter where it was played. My point being, in terms of if you want to have the appearance of neutrality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because, and let's also be honest, none of the other regionals had any level of a home game in terms of the crowd in any one of the regionals. BC's regional in Manchester was crickets.
Yeah, it was.
Fargo, who goes to North Dakota and South Dakota, but they're going to do it for the next 3 years, which is asinine. But I don't think, I kind of got chewed at the team page, the team fan page on Facebook about for suggesting a best of 3 situation. Again, it felt like sour grapes. It is what it is. But at the same time, you can't. You can't give a team. You can't assign a team to play at a regional where it's effectively a home game for them, because that sets not again. The crowd comes into play for every single game. It doesn't matter where you are. The crowd plays a factor. So if you're wanting to set a neutrality factor there where you have just the teams play them, again, agree with what you said. No matter where we play that game, Penn State was going to win. It didn't matter. But you take the crowd away from that, maybe it shifts a little bit. I don't think it would have affected the overall outcome, mind you. But the crowd got into Maine's head. Let's just be honest.
I agree. I fully agree there. Fully agree. Now, what do you boys say we shift gears to a different sport?
Okay. I'm good for that.
I think we've harped on this main topic long enough. We've already touched on some college basketball. What do you boys say we talk about the National Basketball Association?
Not really a different sport, different league tier.
Different level, different tier.
Yeah.
Ball's still going in the hoop.
Ball don't lie.
Still, you still put something in the net.
Yes.
How about them you guys are only 4 games behind first? There's only
there's like 10 games left. 8 or 10 games left.
8 games left, but damn.
So, think about it like this, though. Here's the thing that is just mind-blowing to make it feel like they are literally 4 games behind. Cleveland started this season 15-0, and then at one point went on a 16-game win streak, and Boston had 2 months consecutive, December and January, of 500 basketball. And as of right now, we're on a 9-game win streak, coming off a 6-0 road trip for the first time in franchise history. We've had that long of a road trip and won each and every game.
I saw that stat. I didn't think that was I thought they may have taught the league since I thought that 6-0 on the road trip over the storied years of the Boston Celtics. They've never pulled that off until then.
Now, I will say, right now, they are getting beat by the Heat 29-22. So
it's early.
Yeah. We'll go
Celtics money line.
So who knows if they'll push it to 10? Probably not. The 9-game win streak it's great. Looks like this might be the game. They're falling kind of flat, not shooting the ball very well right now. Kind of look lackadaisical on defense. But either way, 4 games out of first. It looks like they're playing their best basketball at the right time. Derek White just set the all-time Celtic point guard record for 3-point shots made at 247. all kudos to Derek White. I want to talk about Jason Tatum real quick, the man right here. Obviously, he was the best player on the team last year. Jaylen Brown Finals MVP. We all know that. But Tatum has really established himself as the leader of this team this year. He's the first guy in the gym. He's the last guy out of the gym. He's stepped up his defensive game. He looks like he has found a shooting rhythm that hopefully he can carry into the playoffs. Because obviously we know how Tatum struggled shooting the ball in the playoffs last year. He played very well, played very efficiently, was having trouble with his jump shot. If that is the case, and he has fixed his jump shot, and Porzingis is healthy throughout the whole playoffs, I'm not being biased when I say this, guys. I don't know a team that can take him 6 games.
The Thunder?
Potentially the Thunder with 6. I could see the Thunder.
Thunder, and maybe Cleveland, and that's it. And even then, Cleveland, I'm not too confident about.
SGA is the best player in basketball right now.
You are out of your freaking... No, he is fucking not. No.
Nah, you told me Jason Tatum.
No, I'm not... There's a man in Denver who just dropped a 60-point triple-double last night.
It's still lost. Yeah,
because of Russell Westbrook.
I thought he had 50-something.
No, he dropped a 60-pointer.
60-point triple-double.
All I'm saying is in the playoffs, I know Jokic has done it, but I trust Shea.
I don't at all.
Milwaukee just had a game the other night where they just shot like 68% from the field or some crap like that. It was last night.
Oh, Milwaukee. Well, let me see. Where is Milwaukee at?
Milwaukee is like in the 7th or 8th seed. They're not contending.
Well, as of Wednesday, April 3rd, 2nd, 2025, Milwaukee is in the 6th seed at 41-34, and they are 1 game behind the Detroit Pistons, who that bad boy image is coming back a little bit. They 2 games behind the Pacers for the 4th seed, probably not gonna be able to host the first round. But Pacers Pistons first rounds, don't NBA TV that. That's an old.
That's Malice in the Palace. That's Malice in the Palace mentality there.
That's gonna get national TV right there.
And but again, the other night, the Pistons pick a fight. It's 7 players get ejected,
and it's always Isaiah Stewart every time.
It's always Isaiah Stewart. Always Isaiah Stewart. There were some memes going around that Isaiah Stewart got banned from the NBA.
I'm going to list off a couple teams, right? And I want you to give, in your opinion, a percentage chance of them winning the finals against the field.
Wait,
Let's start with the Cavs. The field.
2. Okay.
The Cavs.
We're talking about going if they make it to the finals or if they get to the finals.
Winning the finals, winning the title. I'm going to say
winning the titles.
I'm saying 15.
I'll give it a 22.
22. What about you, Ian?
25.
25. Let's go with the Lakers.
17.
I'm going to go 20 for the Lakers.
You got to give LeBron some respect, sure. That's why I have it as high as I do. I don't see them getting past the Thunder, and they wouldn't beat the Cavs or the Celtics.
I have Lakers a 40% chance.
God damn.
Yeah,
I didn't expect that. So
I don't think it's going to be very hard for teams to match up with them in the playoffs. LeBron's never had another guy who could get his own bucket like this in a playoff series.
No, I agree. I agree with you there.
I can respect that. I just don't see that high of a percentage.
Damn, the Celtics are getting killed right now.
I think it's going to be tough because they're going to get to play Golden State round 1. I say get to, but Golden State's no slouch. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Then they're going to have to play
52 points with 12 threes.
Wait, what'd you say? My bad.
Curry just dropped 52 points with 12 threes last night.
Yeah, I heard about that shit. He's still what is it? He was
he still got it.
First player over 35 to have 4 or more 50-point games over the age of 35 or some shit like that. That man is ridiculous, bro. And we watched him at Davidson. He's not gonna do. I thought he's not gonna do that shit like that in the NBA.
Yeah, we were wrong.
But you think about it, though, I'm not even mad at myself for being wrong because most people we think that shit about, we're right. They never do it to the same extent they did in college. I mean, Sean used to go bonkers about this. The Trae Young watch, his only season in Oklahoma. There'd be another game on Mississippi State, Alabama, and they'd be tracking Trae Young's points at the bottom. Steph Curry and spot. I would say Trae Young.
There's a guy who needs to change the scenery.
Trae Young.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, no, he's just kind of been. It's been one thing after another there for him.
For him, he needs to change the scenery because Atlanta's not going anywhere.
No, okay, hold on. I'm happy that you said that. Can we revisit a conversation we had on the show 2 months ago?
Sure.
Who said that? Me.
I think it was me. I think I said it too. Was it you? Okay.
Yes, you're the one. I remember you said there's no way Atlanta would trade Trae Young because I said
they won't, but they should. They won't, but they should.
I was saying I said Trae Young to Philadelphia, if you guys remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
Anyways, I see Lakers at 40% is pretty high, Ian. It's pretty high. I will say that even at 40 years old, the last person I want to see in Game 7 is LeBron James.
Yeah, that's true. if it went to a Game 7, I wouldn't want to see him now. Me neither.
No, fuck no. That guy has killed Boston so many times that I never want to see that man in the playoff matchup again.
It's like what that Last Dance segment where who was it that Magic player chirped and Michael Jordan said 45-8-23.
Oh, Nick Anderson.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. Oh, you screwed up, man. Here comes the man.
His teammates were mad at him. Kevin Garnett had told a story about Michael Jordan. Like, he was talking shit to Michael, and then Michael came out and busted their ass. And Isaiah or J.R. Ryder was just like, man, shut the fuck up. Like, there's certain people you can't get riled up, bro. Like Michael Jordan, he said 23, 40, 45 doesn't get up like 23 used to or something like that. Yeah. He came out, tore that shit off. He knew he was in trouble when that warm-up suit came out.
It was over.
Yeah, that was Superman that entered the building.
What would you say title chances for OKC?
Ooh, OKC.
I'm going to go 50.
In the finals, I give them a 45.
I'm going 15, and here's why. And then Ian, I want you to go too, and I know you think I'm hating on OKC, but in the regular season, right, I'm viewing SGA a lot like James Harden right now, and I probably shouldn't, but I am. And it's when it's a regular season game, you don't have time to really prepare for one singular player. In the postseason, your matchup is obviously determined, and it's a 7-game series. You have a couple weeks to prepare for somebody and potentially and game plan around them. They are going to find ways to shut down SGA and make the other players of the Thunder beat them offensively. And
Which they can.
They can against certain teams, not against defensively sound teams.
Well, that's why I don't give them over a 50% chance, because if it's not against the Celtics or the Cavs, then no.
Yeah, but that's why who else besides the Celtics or the Cavs even have a chance to go to the finals in the East?
Not me. I wouldn't. I would the Knicks. Yeah, but I wouldn't pick them. I wouldn't confidently pick any team other than the Cavs to go to the finals right now.
No, God, no. Like if we say okay, let's go. Okay, Ian first. What's your title chances for the Thunder?
Thunder. 20%.
So
I don't think they're getting past the Lakers. I really don't.
That's a bold statement, my friend, because you've been giving a lot of praise to the Thunder.
I think we need to reevaluate. I think we need to look at this question differently, though. Assuming they're in the finals, forget the factor they had to get through. What percentage would you chance if they were in there? How much chance would you give them to make it?
Oh, if we're just assuming they're in there, Lakers got an 80% chance.
Assuming that they're in there, no.
It depends on the matchup. Like, I would take the Lakers over Cleveland because you guys know how much LeBron personally would want that to win that series against his former team. That would mean he's won 2 titles against former teams that he's won titles for, which would be just a crazy phenomenal feat to do.
That's insane, yeah.
Yeah, because he won a title with the Heat, or 2 titles with the Heat, then beat the Heat in the finals in the bubble, and he's obviously won a title with Cleveland. So if it's the Lakers and the Cavs in the finals, expect 2018 LeBron mixed in with Luka Doncic.
Yeah, that game would actually, that series probably would get over quickly, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too. I really do. I would say Lakers in 5. But the Celtics are a very bad matchup against the Celtics for some reason, and I don't know why. I can't explain it. Luka cannot score on Jaylen Brown. He can't dribble against Jaylen Brown. I don't know if it's more of a mental thing at this point because he understands that Jaylen's had his number. But if you even go back to last year's NBA Finals, his matchup against Jaylen Brown was horrible. And obviously this couple weeks ago, Saturday Night Prime, Jaylen once again locked down Luka Doncic.
I think if the Celtics and Lakers made it in the finals together, LeBron's going to get his. It's going to be the case, no doubt. And like you said, I would expect Luka to, at least based on recent history, to struggle on his matchup because Jaylen Brown's going to be locked up on him. The question for the Celtics now would be, can Jason Tatum keep up with LeBron on the scoring front? And I think he could.
I think he could too. It sounds crazy the way I'm about to word this,
but here's the X factor I would have. I wouldn't have LeBron, Luka, Tatum, or Brown being the X factor in that game, in that series. I wouldn't. It'd be Porzingis and his health. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No question. No question. And here's the weird caveat to that series, right? I hate to say this, the Celtics would have to win it in 6.
Yeah, because you don't put yourself in a LeBron Game 7 situation. You will lose.
No.
Because Game 6 with LeBron being in Boston is such a great thing.
No, you're right.
I'm not saying.
I know. I'm just playing.
Right, but my point being, you don't give LeBron James a Game 7.
Hell no!
You just don't.
You don't want to play Tom Brady. You could pick a million fucking people. Tom Brady might not even be the MVP, but you get to the Super Bowl. I don't want to fucking play Tom Brady.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And so I think personally, I don't think there's a team that can beat Boston in a 7-game series unless it's the Lakers in a Game 7. That's really it.
That's fair.
I think the Thunder could push the Celtics to 6 games. I think they could push them to 6 based on how they played against each other. Because now what I would say is, if I'm not too much mistaken, both matchups that the Thunder have had against the Celtics this year, they have not had their regular starting 5.
Correct.
The Celtics have not.
Either of the Thunder, to be fair.
True, but the Thunder have they won both of those games, if I'm not too much mistaken, did they not? The Thunder did?
The Thunder won both, yeah.
Yeah. But in a vacuum, I would still pick the Celtics, and no more than 6.
Just so you guys know, the Celtics are getting blown out right
now. It is 48-36 with 4 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, it's again, it's a 9-game winning streak. Every team event, every streak comes to an end.
I'm taking Boston money line. That shit ain't ending tonight. Where's my phone? Bro, dude, tell me why. So I bet on the Dodgers to. It was a part of a parlay, so it was plus 2.5. So all they had to do was lose by less than 3. And I thought the fucking game was on Monday, bro. So I'm looking at my account looking for the money, and I was like, oh shit, the game ain't till tonight. It won though. I was gonna be so mad, bro. I was like, oh shit, I hit the parlay, went back. Oh, the game ain't till fucking tomorrow. Welcome to baseball season though, man. The Angels, bro. We're 4-2. We're keeping pace. Let's just see how we can get. Let's
not forget the fact that the first game of the season you all lost to the White Sox and got your asses blown out.
Hey, we scored a run. It was 8-1. We won the series though.
It was the White Sox.
What's the score of the Red Sox game, Justin?
Last I saw it was 3-0, but let me just double check that.
I got you, big dog.
Still 3-0, top of the 8th, 2 outs in Baltimore. 3-0 Red Sox.
Wow, we might get our second win of the season.
And Rafael Devers did not strike out every single at bat. He actually got an RBI double.
All right, Red Sox looking good. Did you guys win the first game against Texas or no?
First game of the season we did. Yep. Then we've dropped 4 straight. Yeah.
Yeah, we sucked. We were wrong about our opinion with the Red Sox. I think they're going to be a bottom feeder in the AL East.
No, I don't think it's that. It's too early to hit the panic button. No, I still think you consider shipping Devers back down to AAA because for God's sake.
Shit. What do you what do you guys think of these Yankee bats?
I'm gonna pass that one to Justin because I don't like any.
This one's all you. So take as much time as you need. You're the baseball guy. I don't know.
Okay, so have you guys seen what the bat actually looks like?
Yeah. It's like
okay. So it's a damn torpedo. It's a torpedo.
If I'm not mistaken, what they did right is analytically, they looked at every hitter they had and see where their point of contact normally made with the ball, and then moved like the barrel to that spot, correct?
Particularly Volpe, their shortstop. Yes, that's where it started from.
Okay.
So they got this information from a MIT professor who was a stats guy for them, and so it's not like it wasn't something that they just brought in. This is something that they actually have already had in some fashion, but it wasn't getting the attention because it was interesting. They did bring it out last year, but it has not garnered the attention like it has this year because the Yankees matched 9 homers in 2 games. It's insane. But the way the bat is put together is the way MLB has a regulation in terms of how big the diameter of the bat can be.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees torpedo bats have not broken that rule. They are within the regulations of what a bat can be. It's not breaking the rules. They are legal, but the spirit of the game is, I want to say it's been affected. And this is kind of ironic coming from me being a Patriots fan because Belichick always like.
Justin, what you're saying, they're Belichicking the game.
They're Belichicking the game. Yes, this is a very much a Belichick the game kind of thing. And again, the difference being that unlike Belichick, where he misinterpreted the rules, the Yankees are following the rules, but they're not following the spirit of the rule, in my opinion.
I mean,
let me pull up the regulation as it's written. Hang on one second, because I want to make sure it's written.
I'm not a Yankees fan, but to be fair, fuck the spirit of the game. Like,
I mean, if it works, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Obviously, but
that's what I was gonna ask. Do you think it's Bush League, Justin?
It's from a pitcher's perspective, absolutely, it's Bush League. It's absolute Bush League from a pitcher's perspective, absolute Bush League. But it's not illegal. It's not an illegal bat. I thought they were initially, but when I look deeper into it, it's not illegal. It's towing the line of legality, but it's not illegal.
Gray area almost.
Well, it's not even a gray area. It's the letter of the law is correct. They're following the letter of the rule. But they're not. But again, it's supposed to taper. The bat is supposed to taper down from the tip of the bat down to the handle, which technically it does.
Right.
But never mention it doesn't. But it tapers out the bat down at the label on the bat on the bat shaft, as it were. So again, it's not. They're not breaking the rules. They're toying with the rule. It's not illegal, but it definitely puts the bat, because over the years the rules that have been put down regarding baseball had all been geared at the pitcher or for the pitcher.
Right.
This change in bat design Granted, if it brings more revenue to the game and more watches to the game because folks are mashing home runs left and right, then all the more power for them. I understand it, but from a baseball purist, it feels kind of wrong. It's not wrong, but it feels wrong.
No, I hear you. And so my question to you is kind of a tough one for you to answer, probably. Had this been the Sox, would you have the same opinion?
I probably would, actually. I mean, I wouldn't be upset about the fact by the results, but being a baseball purist, I would say, yeah, it's right, but it doesn't feel right.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So
I wouldn't be upset with the results, but I would feel weird. I mean, I'd feel kind of about I have like a sickening feel about how you got them, kind of thing.
I hear you. No, it makes sense. That's a fair assessment to have. I totally understand. It's tough when it's not officially breaking the rules, because what can you really say? Like, yeah, you can argue the pure standpoint. You can argue it's against the spirit. You can argue it's Bush League. But that's all anecdotal talk. Like, when you really break down the letter of it, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing.
It feels wrong, but it's not wrong.
Yeah.
Baseball is one of those sports, at least from my perspective, because kind of from an outsider's perspective, it just seems like something's kind of Bush League. If everybody was doing it, it'd be a little different. But you're kind of technically, like Casey was saying, it's all anecdotal. Like, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. You're not going to get in trouble, and every team can do the same thing. But
and it's not like a George Brett Pine Tar situation where that's breaking the rule. It's not a situation like that.
Exactly.
That's different. That's you're breaking the rule situation. This is you're towing the line of what the rule actually says.
Yes. So, what sporting event are you guys looking forward to this weekend?
This weekend, honestly, I'm not sure. I mean, I might watch a Red Sox game. It feels weird because now it feels like I'm on like sports standby until the NBA finals, the NBA playoffs start, and the NFL draft starts.
When is the draft?
April. The 24th.
No shit.
I thought it was the 26th.
I thought it was the 24th. Like, I mean, it's that week.
Yes, that's for sure. As far as sports, I'm looking forward to this weekend. Final four matchups, or Celtics. There'll be sports on. Did you guys catch any of the UFL this past weekend?
No, but I've heard they were really good. I haven't really caught on to the UFL yet.
It's so weird, right? Because football is my favorite sport, but unless it's NFL or college, I can't watch a random UFL game. I have no rooting interest. Like, there's nothing grasping about it.
There's no skin in the game for it. There's no skin in the game for you to watch, to grasp onto. Exactly, I agree.
And I had like 10 minutes of downtime this past Saturday. I was just flipping through stuff. Happened to stumble across the UFL game, watch it for 5-6 minutes. It's okay. It's meh is the best way to put it. It's meh.
Should the UFL be the NFL's minor leagues action?
Honestly, yes. No, the actually 100%, Justin. That would improve the quality of the UFL, or whatever it's called. Is it the UFL? Yeah. Oh shit! There goes Ian.
There goes Ian. Best of hope. Hope the Ian stays safe and everything's okay there.
Yes, hopefully so. But yeah, 100%. That's 1,000% what they should do, and the reason being is because have those teams be underdogs, underline minor league teams to those NFL teams, and have them actually play for something, potentially a contract with an NFL squad, which happens, of course. But it will make them feel like they're actually part of an NFL team beforehand, and I think it could make the games much more exciting.
My only concern is it doesn't become like the laughingstock that the G League has become for the NBA.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I mean, because the G League is just
a joke.
Yeah, 100%. The guy from the Maine Celtics, I don't even know his name, just won G League MVP. But I don't think he'd ever see it.
I've never heard. I mean, I've never watched a Maine G League game. Ever.
I haven't either. I'd go to one personally, like in person, but I'd never watch one on TV.
Yeah.
All right, since Ian's gone, you want to move on to the question?
Go for it.
All right, I'm just gonna think one off the top of my head since we don't really have anything. If you could take any athlete's superpower, you know what I mean by that, what would it be?
If my brain just went to Space Jam, I got his talent.
Like, would it be like step shooting, Josh Allen's arm strength, Tom Brady's IQ, LeBron's physical, like LeBron's athleticism, you know?
Mm-hmm. Larry Bird's charisma.
I like that answer a lot, actually. Yeah.
Because I mean, he was like the one main big white guy on the court, but he would trash talk like no one's business. He would, and he didn't have to do anything, but he would just be in his bag and he's like, yeah, you see that spot? I'm going over there. I'm shooting it over your head, and you can shut your ass up.
Have you ever seen that meme of Larry Bird where it's him pulling up in a Ford Bronco with a mustache and a Budweiser in his hands? And
yes!
If you ever see this dude pull up to your court, just know he's dropping 30.
Absolutely. Yes.
Man, to be honest, I think mine, I'd have to choose Steph's shooting.
Okay.
I mean,
go ahead, but obviously, would you have a second? But
my second, if we're just trying to be the best athlete in this type of situation, it would be LeBron's basketball IQ combined with Steph's shooting.
Okay.
Because that alone is going to get you very, very far.
See, I would take Brady's IQ in the sense of he will know what you're doing before you even know you're doing it.
That's fair. No, I like that too. And you gotta think LeBron has that same thing. Like there's countless arguments and countless interviews where people are talking about, oh, LeBron was calling out our stuff as we were doing it. Like, so it's all along the same wavelength. So I feel you on that.
Same idea. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. But one last question here, Justin. And if they're going to Canada, what do they need to do?
Don't forget to bring a towel. It's snowing out here. It's crazy.
And don't shut off our power.
No. I hate them pairs. I need to get high. I'm going to go home now.
All right, Mixed Reactions. We are out. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week.
Like, subscribe, and follow for more content.
Fuck Philly.